representing Canada.
Well, there you have it. What we teed up as potentially the race of the century absolutely did not disappoint. The three fastest women to ever swim the 800 free were neck and neck with 100 meters still to go. Summer McIntosh takes home the bronze medal for Canada, but it was all Katie Ledecky with the weight of the world on her shoulders. She prevailed tonight. It was phenomenal. We're going to talk all about it. Devin, Heroux, Brittany, MacLean, Campbell. Can't wait to chat with you, Dev, about this one. Initial reactions, how were the energy and the vibes, all the things from the pool?
I'm exhausted. That was unbelievable. I feel like I need to take a deep breath. What a night here at the championship pool in Singapore. You said it, Britt, with 100 meters to go in this epic clash of the Titans. Summer McIntosh was actually, she had that number one in her lane for a second. And then that's when the now 7 times consecutively world champion in the 800 meter freestyle, Katie Ledecky, hit a different level. I mean, it was absolutely electric inside this arena, Britt, and I think there was a sense, you know, as you were watching it build and build and build, that one of them was going to make a move, and I think they all tried to at one point. You would have a better eye for that, but they were, like you said, neck and neck and neck across those 3 middle lanes, and it was riveting. And you know what I love most about tonight? I love that an 800 meter freestyle, a longer race that sometimes doesn't get a lot of shine, was squarely in the spotlight, and you could not turn away for 8 minutes and 5 seconds. It was spectacular drama. We will never forget this, and I'll tell you who won't forget this more than anyone: Summer McIntosh, Britt.
Yeah, I know immediately, you know, I was actually doing a live news hit right after, and the first reaction was like, oh my goodness, she's gonna be mad. But we know a mad Summer McIntosh adds so much fuel to the fire. I do want to take a moment right now for the woman we're witnessing, Katie Ledecky. We speak about her greatness quite often, but it is really challenging to put it into words what she's truly achieved. Devin, you mentioned it, 7 world titles in this 800 freestyle. But the weight of the world, I mean, I know there's been races she's gone in with challengers. We've also seen her have expectation where she's had to stand up and perform. But at 28 years old, you're undefeated in this event for 13 years. She's won it every single summer where she's competed in it. And then you have the 2 best, not just the 2 best this year, the 2 best other than you are racing on either side of you with massive expectations. Summer's chatted all week that she wants 5 gold medals. She was gunning for this race specifically. She had a really fast swim at the Canadian trials. And you got to think Katie came into this race understanding the challenge that was ahead of her.
Yeah, and it really felt like you say the weight of the world. I think the weight of the United States swimming program. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we at this point want to get into what Michael Phelps and Ryan Lochte posted recently, but this has not been, this meet, Britt, has not gone according to plan for American swimming, and Katie Ledecky, like she has time and time again, delivers, and it really felt like that changed the energy around this American team here in the arena. She's a champion. She's absolutely a champion. And she was not going to let her race be wrestled away from anyone here tonight. It was spectacular to watch. She's still getting it done. Summer McIntosh, of course, is still trying to learn how to master this race like Katie Ledecky. And yeah, I could tell Summer was disappointed, Britt, as she made her way over here. Why don't we actually take a listen to what Summer had to say? Her body language really did tell a story here tonight. A bronze medal, a fight right to the finish. What are you thinking about in this moment?
I'm thinking about tomorrow in the 400 IM. That was not the race I wanted. Just personally, my time, how I executed anything. But it is a new event for me. I gave it 10% more focus than I have in the past, so this is just the beginning, and I know I have lots of time in my career to do better at it. Whether I decide to keep doing this, I don't know. It's not my favorite event, but I just want to say congrats to Katie. I mean, she's always been an inspiration of mine, and she put up a very good fight along with Lani, of course. So, I mean, anytime I get to race those girls, I learn a lot, and I'm definitely learning a lot from that tonight.
I know you're digesting this moment right now, and I hear you say it's not the race I wanted to take out into this pool. What was the strategy, Summer, going into tonight?
Going into tonight, I really wanted to swim my own race, and I didn't do that. I have trouble with that in freestyle. This is kind of what I struggled with in the past in my 400 freestyle, so this is my first time swimming it worldwide other than back in Tokyo when I was 14. So yeah, we'll have to see where this event takes me, whether I keep wanting to do it. I think what I did tonight actually makes me want to keep doing it more, to see how much better I can get at it, because I know I can be way faster than I was tonight, but I think just learning how to manage doing 2 800s, even though it was very easy yesterday, it's still an 800. So I think just stuff like that. And I mean, I'm going up against girls that, Katie's mastered it. She basically reinvented the 800. So, I mean, props to her. So, yeah, definitely is going to fuel me for next season along with that 200 fly. So, yeah.
Well, Dev, visibly disappointed Summer McIntosh, but has some great perspective. And I think we talked a lot about how Ledecky had the race experience. McIntosh had the momentum. This was a perfect example that the experience of how to pace this race prevailed over the speed of McIntosh. And Ledecky absolutely took her strategy and put it into execution. She wanted to be in the mix. She likes to get out fast. How about Lanny Pallister, just quickly, because that was a 5-second personal best time and a massive oceanic record. She puts herself in the mix for even the top of the podium, only 3:10 separated. But what we thought was going to be a 2-horse race became a 3-horse race. And that was a really good example of just, you have a lane, you have a chance, you get yourself in the mix there. Phenomenal racing for all three. I think Summer has it exactly right when she says, I didn't execute the strategy I know I'm capable of. If she had gone the time she went at trials, there's a gold medal around her neck right now. But it's not about the times. It's about standing up when the performance and the big race matters. And she knows that she kind of let that moment get to her head. And on that final 50, she just didn't have the juice needed to race home. I do want to hear what Katie Ledecky did say to you, Dev. So let's throw to that clip.
Katie, congratulations. You're such a champion. Your 7th time winning this event. But I wonder at this point of your career, what does this victory mean to you?
I mean, it's special. I think each one is special, as any of the Canadians that have won have probably told you. I mean, I think just that field was the fastest 800 ever, and it's really special to be a part of that, to push the sport forward together, and special that the 800 could be such an exciting race at a World Championships.
Congratulations, Katie.
Thank you.
Well, Dev, you said it, and she said it again. The 800 had the most buzz around the pool tonight. Final thoughts and reflections on that women's 800 free before we move on.
Listen, this meteoric rise for 18-year-old swimming sensation Summer McIntosh has been a pretty straight line, so it's hard to nitpick at things, but I'm going to do a little reflection here on opening night 2 years ago in Fukuoka, when it was billed the race of the century in the 400-meter freestyle with Arian Titmus, Katie Ledecky, and Summer McIntosh. You'll remember Summer McIntosh placed 4th in that event. Erica Fairweather clipped her at the line. She kind of lost sight of her. There was the same sort of feeling from Summer. She was disappointed, but she was steely in her resolve, and she said, I'm going to learn from this and I'm going to be better. Well, guess what? 2 years later in the 400-meter freestyle on opening night here, she won the gold medal. Tonight, disappointment. She said it's going to fuel her. Watch out in 2 years in Budapest in the 800-meter freestyle. That's my closing thought, Britt.
And I love all your closing thoughts. Thanks so much for that. I do want to point out, we ask all our athletes to be vulnerable in interviews and mixed zone opportunities. Well, Devin and I are going to be vulnerable for a second because we are quite off on our predictions. We know we're off on our predictions, but we're still going to be honest with you all because that's the name of the game. If we ask it of the athletes, we're going to hold our heads high and acknowledge that we were wrong. So with that, our quick predictions in the women's 800 freestyle. Devin Heroux, it wasn't shy to say we came off that Fred Verneau interview where he said, I think Summer can maybe get under 8. Devin Heroux's prediction, a 7:59.9. You know what, Dev? One day. We're going to hold on to this for one day. And then quickly, Brittany, MacLean, Campbell, 8:01.87. We'll take the loss here. We acknowledge we are not correct. We acknowledge we are far from correct. But what we wanted to see was a great race there tonight, and we absolutely got it, so we'll take that as a win. Devin, I would like to I would like to point out that I'm beating you in every race so far. So with that, I hope you take home a big leap tomorrow. You're going to have to catch up quite a bit. So far, dinner's on you. So get ready for that when you do eventually get back. I know the flight and the travel back might take a little bit, but I'm waiting for you whenever you do get back. Dev, we had another medal for Canada tonight, and we do want to be able to chat quite in length about it because it was exciting. It was a great moment. Ilya Kharun, his first ever World Championship medal. And it's funny to say that because he's been on the Olympic podium twice. He's been to World Championships before. But this was his first long course medal, and it was a bronze, and it was close. A lifetime best time by 0.3 of a second in a race that is coming down to the, milliseconds. One of the fastest fields we've seen. Just 2 100ths separates the two of them. Josh Leendo takes fourth here in the men's 100 fly, just off his best from what he went in Paris in a 49.99. Devin, break it down for me.
I absolutely love the butterfly events. I think they're fabulous to watch. It's incredible, Britt, to watch them charge. It's just so riveting to watch them churn the water. Grousseau and Ponty just in a league of their own, and they have been. And Josh and Ilya have talked for a couple of years now with me about those two guys in particular, and knowing that those were the guys they were going to have to play in the big leagues with, and they swam away from the field. But Josh and Ilya side by side in the pool, putting on a brilliant display of power. For Ilya Kharun, it really felt like this was a World Championship saver. He's been so disappointed, so frustrated. The 50 fly, the 200 fly, he wanted this really, really bad. So it's nice to see. And, I know we're going to talk briefly about the relay. I didn't get to talk to Josh after the 100 fly because he went immediately, Britt, into the relay to get ready for that. But he did actually shout out to Ilya that he was thrilled for him and congratulated him. So it's nice to see these two Canadian men that 367 days ago in Paris stood on the podium together. Josh silver, Ilya bronze. They are pushing each other. They're going to continue to push each other. And I really believe, Britt, that their moment is coming. This, like summer, is going to fuel them, but I love that this men's program is getting a lot of shine, is getting a lot of attention, because it had been some time that we hadn't been able to talk about Canadian men being on the podium, and they're all around it now, including for Ilya Kharun, who finally got that medal, and I talked to him after the race. Let's listen to that. What does this moment mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. I, of course, I wanted to win, but still got some work to do, but I'm so happy. I think I really deserve this, with so much difficulties earlier in the week, but I'm glad I made it.
This is a huge lifetime best for you. How did you do it?
Just lots of praying and lots of just determination in my mind. I was really hoping for this.
And what a privilege it is here as a Canadian sports fan to have two men in the same event that are going to be continuously chasing medals on the world stage. So we'll tune in for the years to come to watch that challenge continue to evolve. Ilya Kharun, the bronze medal. Josh Leendo, a narrow fourth place. Like I said, 2 100ths of a second separating them. That is less than a fingernail. If one of the men, honestly, I think at some point the men's program is going to start getting little manicures. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. But before we kind of move on to a race that, Devin, you have a lot to tell us about, but that's coming up after. First, we're going to break down the mixed freestyle relay. To get into the final this morning, it took an exceptional swim across all 4 disciplines, but 8th into the qualifier, then they come 6th in the final. All the splits were actually incredibly fast. I know we talk a lot about medals, and it's easy to highlight these moments when athletes are on the podium, but I would call this a big win for the Canadian future. Gaziev a 48.43, Leendo a 47.64, Harvey in a 53.46, and Ruck closes in a 53.63. So solid swimming across all 4 legs. How was their energy when they came through the mix zone, Dev?
Yeah, Britt, I think they were happy with their performance, and I asked Mary-Sophie about it to break it down, and she said, we know we have room to grow, and we were happy to be in this fight, and we're only going to get better from here. For Ruslan, obviously, he was away from the sport for 18 months because of his whereabouts infraction. He's put forth some quality swims in the relays here, Britt, so he's back in action. Josh has been outstanding throughout this entire meet. And you know what? For Josh, he wasn't feeling 100% at the Canadian trials. And I think there was a big question mark for him coming into these World Championships. Well, he's answered all of them. And I know he's going to rest and he's going to think about this and he's only going to get better from here. Taylor Ruck has put together an incredibly solid meet, Britt. She's been in the pool, it feels like, every session in different events all over the board. And I think it's just beautiful to see Taylor Ruck finding form again. But more than anything, she said, I'm having fun and I'm swimming free. Remember, she can be really, really fast. We know that. She has national records all over the board. And so she is tapping into that again. And I think it's only going to mean good things for the Canadian relays. But 6th in the world, nothing to be disappointed about. I want to point out, the Australians missed this final. Mm-hmm. The Americans missed the other mixed medley final. Canada is in both of these. And I think that's just a real tribute, A, to the morning swims, and B, to the depth on this team to be in these finals, because you're seeing how slim the margins are when the Australians and the Americans don't make it into a relay final and Canada does. I think that's worth pointing out.
It is, and also worth pointing out that was the U.S.'s first big relay win. It was also a world record performance, and you talked about the momentum swing for them tonight. It was absolutely a swing. Yesterday, they were called out by Ryan Lochte and Michael Phelps with a bit of a wake-up call of, is this what's going to change the structure of USA swimming? And I actually, just before we went live, I saw Lily King put on her story tagging both of them and asking them, where are you guys today? And I thought that was hilarious. So the banter is back and forth. The messages are being sent. There's visible frustration, but I don't think it's towards the athletes. It's more towards USA Swimming, and they've currently been without kind of a leader in their program for quite some time. So a ton more we can chat about at a further date, maybe in our debrief, Dev. But what I do want to quickly mention about that relay, Penny Alexiak's withdrawal from these championships created a bit of a question mark is what's going to happen with the relays. Who's going to be the person that Team Canada relies on? Well, it was Taylor Ruck. She has showed up between the mixed relays, the freestyle relays on the women's side. She has been there, and she has been consistently 52, 53 every time she swims. That is the type of athlete you're looking to pull towards when it comes to these challenges where we don't have the depth that we're used to having. So kudos to Taylor for standing up and finding fun in this point in her career. Okay, speaking of fun, we're going to move on to something you did today. Devin, you swam in the media relay. What an honor it must have been. I do want to hear everything about how that went, but before we hear it from you, I would love for our viewers to watch how it went.
You know, I was really, really committed to the dive until I wasn't. And I'll have to live with that for the rest of my life, that on this world stage, I just couldn't fully commit. I do hope that it provided these spectators in this, they were packed, they were noisy today in here. The belly flop really cost me. And despite all of that, it was a nearly 3-second personal best. So I can't be too upset about that, but I'll be thinking about that belly flop for years. I'm only motivated from this. I mean, I think about that belly flop, and you know, that old adage, it's not about how you start, it's how you finished. And today I showed that I have finishing speed. The wall kept moving farther from me as I kept going, but I didn't quit. And that's a message to all of you at home. Never give up on your dreams, even if it doesn't start the way you think it's going to start. You can change your story midway through a 50-meter.
Devin, I just want to say how much I appreciated this moment. I think there was some golden lessons learned. And just like Summer tonight, it's not how you started, it's how you finish. And that's how she's resetting for her 400 IM tomorrow. Devin, how much fun did you have in that media race?
Well, first of all, I think we're going to have a production meeting about that edit because I saw that belly flop over and over way too many times. Listen, I was in the same pool as the greatest swimmers on the planet. It was a blast alongside our colleague, Brenda Irving, alongside Australian legend, Kate Campbell, who swam 24/7, by the way.
I was going to mention that.
Pool for a year. No, it's insane. And NBC producer Sarah Hughes. It was an absolute blast. And yes, the dive was awful. And when I get back to Toronto, Britt, we're going to the Pan Am Sports Center, and we are getting this because I am going to nail this at the next World Championship. I'm getting over this fear. I was closer. No, I wasn't. But we will nail this. We will nail it. But I actually was happy with my form. I really was. 36.8. It's a 3-second drop from Fukuoka 2 years ago. So I'm getting older and my time is getting lower. So that's a win for me today. An
Honestly,
absolute blast.
The way that you could literally say a 3-second drop from Fukuoka makes it sound like you're competing in this race. It is the best. I do want to point out some stats for you guys. He had a 0.62 reaction time, which honestly, the reaction's not too bad. The split was a 36-81. Now, Devin, I will say my favorite part of the whole thing is when you're leading up to the dive. You truly look like you're about to do like a full swing takeover. And then the second that Brenda touches the wall, you just do the feet first entry. It was everything. I want to say I'm giving it.
Well,
I'm so proud of you for giving it your all.
I'll tell you, I had never considered the fact because I've never been on a relay. I really have not from the blocks. I didn't think far enough about the fact that I was going to have to jump over Brenda. So me swinging my arms is actually me trying to
get farther.
how I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Exactly. Try to get farther. So I was actually more concerned about making sure I didn't land on Brenda than I was about anything. That's what was actually going through my head. Mission accomplished. What a day.
What a day. And that's why you're so tired, to be honest. The lactic acid is still building up.
I'm exhausted.
You mentioned Kate Campbell's split. I do want to say normally when you're in a relay with someone, it really is about the person guiding into the wall to set them up for success. So I'll give you a good chunk of credit for Kate Campbell's 24/7 split and may or may not have fueled her toward a comeback toward LA. I don't know. I'm just saying it, but it could happen. You said the best is yet to come, and let's end it off strong. Final night from the pool. Summer McIntosh has her premier event, the 400 IM. That will be happening tomorrow morning, 8:15. Make sure you are supporting her. There is going to be an extra fuel to her fire. Summer is the favorite by 10 seconds in this race, but maybe, just maybe, because she has some clear water, this will be the race where she pushes the pace a little bit towards those world record marks. We're also going to get to see both medley relays in action, which is such a fun way to close out the competition, and the men's 400 IM as well. We don't yet know if they'll qualify through to the final, but Yankovitz and Wigginton will be racing tonight to try to get in that premier final 8 to get to swim in the big final. So more to come, so much more action. We are gearing up for the final day in the pool. Devin, it's been so much fun covering it. I just want to say, I know you have done a million interviews across news, across all platforms, across your social, your Twitter, and I want to thank you for your energy. This moment in the sport of swimming is it is tremendous. And as somebody that has lived it my whole life, I'm just so grateful for people like you that care as much as you do. So I'll end it with that. I appreciate your energy, and let's have a great final day.
Thank you, Brett. Appreciate you.
Have a good one.